We can't expect God to do all the work.
Make no mistake, if you mention anything about ergonomics, fitting your hand better, or a modular chassis system, God willing, you will not leave this property. Die where you stand!
But you, brethren, are not in the darkness, that this day may overtake you as a thief. For we are all children of light. We are not of the night or the darkness. Do you know what it means?
And the light shined in the darkness, and the darkness could not overcome it. What's going on, Gap Blattin brethren? Unknown Reloader here to talk about the Dual Illumination RMR. Now, concerning the RM05, you have no need that I should write to you, brethren, for you perfectly know that this is not the pinnacle of handgun red dot design anymore. I've had this thing on top of my ACOG for a few years now, and I just wanted to put it back on pistol to see what I thought of it, because astigmatism tends to prefer the larger dots, so let's give this thing a whirl and see how she does for a couple hundred rounds. All right, so one thing I'd like to cover is, oh no, my screw is too long. What are we gonna do about that? Well, it's very simple. What we're gonna do is chuck this up in our vise here and take little by little off of it at a time until it fits. We'll put it in our jig here. Now, you don't want to just put these right in the vise teeth, because that will bend, curl up the head of the screw, and that will scratch up your optic pretty good. So we'll use wood to avoid that. And we're just going to carefully and straightly. All right. We'll check the threads, make sure they're okay. They seem pretty decent. And then very carefully try and get her started again. Now, if it don't feel right, don't go down on it. Let's see, we're just about where we were. Take a little more. All right, so I've undone the other screw just to make sure that everything's locking down with the final fit here. And now we'll go ahead and put a little Loctite on these and get ready for the zeroing process. Now, the reason this right one is shorter is because back in the day, they would just drill these out till it went through the striker channel. And people would tighten their optic screws down and then be like, why is my pistol not ejecting anymore? Well, that would be why. So these are always shorter on Glocks on the right side. So I give her just a little bit of Loctite and some more Loctite on that one. I'm really liking these Hillman screws from Ace Hardware. They have a very deep cut in them, so it's very easy to not strip them out. As for torque, we do the, if you're bending the tool, that's probably tight enough. You don't want to over torque these, or you will get very familiar with the easy outs that you can buy, well, anywhere. So that feels pretty solid. And I'll go ahead and zero this and get back with you. All right, while we're letting her dry here, let's give you a little view down the optic. As you can see, the notch filter on this one is atrociously purple. And here we are aiming from a dark shaded environment, although we do have the lights on, into a brighter area. And when this one is in direct sunlight, it is ridiculously bright. So let me cut the lights and we'll see how that. So with the lights out, not much difference. Now when you're inside the house aiming out a bright window, yes, it does tend to wash out a lot. It does tend to wash out indoors when you flip your white light on. So not really a great all-around optic, but as far as daytime usage goes, it does fairly well. All right, so full bright sunlight. Stop that. You can see very large dot, very bright. Get that on the pavement, give a white background. All right. There's shaded on white target. All right, my zeroing process is usually just bury it on the front sight, and that gets you close enough. So it looks like we're just a bit off here at 15 yards. Go ahead and make those adjustments. That's about right. I don't know. Shooting off a bag always just don't feel right shooting a pistol. But I guess that looks close enough. Back her up 25 here, see how she does. Monarch, that's what they're calling themselves now. Academy brand steel case. Hitting a little low, though that could be me just getting off the boat. Ain't touched a gun in 3 weeks. All right, we'll run some more drill, see how this thing does. And the mic cut out here, but I was just talking about the slow draw time of a 137 the first shot. Okay, so this thing really does kind of bloom out on smaller plates further away. It's really hard to see around that bright dot, so I use the adjustment feature of some tape to kind of dim that down just a little bit. And I don't really paint my plates bright colors, so the waviness of the glass and the couple with the big bright dot makes it very hard to see. But let's go ahead and see what we got going on here now that it's dimmed down. So that makes it a lot better than that blazing bright dot right there. So after a short 250 rounds with the RM05, I can say, It's all right. It's not really the best option nowadays, but you already knew that. It works. It's okay. The main thing that I like about it is when I don't have my contacts or my glasses on, the dot is so big, it's like looking at the moon. I can see exactly where the dot is. Unlike with like a 2.5 MOA red dot on the Delta Point Pro, it looks like this magazine sitting in front of the target at an angle like that, or like this, something like this. But yeah, with this being so big, I know about where I'm shooting, but then again, the drawback of it being so big is when you're actually trying to shoot at farther distances, it's not really the best reticle to be using. In the woods, it looks pretty good. It's all right. The main thing that gets me about the RMRs though is like just the waviness of the glass. You really notice it. You got to learn to tune it out. It's kind of like the MRO when you get that little bit of magnification that makes like a wave in front of your eye as you're going over to the next target. It's just like, it's there and it's annoying. It's not a big deal, but it's still kind of annoying. But that's just the nature of the RMR. I mean, it's an unchanged design since whenever these things came out, what, 06, 07? And the glass is just not really beautiful in any sense of the word. But I mean, you buy the RMR for durability, not for prettiness. So if you really want to go with an RMR, I mean, buy it and train with it. Me, that's probably still getting replaced with an SRO or a 3.25 or 6.5 MOA RMR LED adjustable version, because the brightness of it, the largeness of it, it's a hindrance that 10% of the time when you really need to press it out and make a farther shot. Like on my 80-yard plate with the Delta Point Pro, I can do pretty good on it. It's like a little plate about like this big right here. It's a tiny little silhouette target that I got off eBay when I was retarded and said, oh, that's $20 for a silhouette, I'll buy that. And it came in and it was this big. So I used that as my just see if we can hit it plate. And it at 80 yards, it's just dancing all around it. It's just, you really can't get a good hold. When you dim it down, it's a little better, but it's still a big honking dot and it's hard to get a very precise zero. So you're gonna suffer at range with it. Up close, it works good. It's all right, just as good as anything else, I guess. Again, the waviness of the glass, the notch filter, the small window does slow you down a little bit. It's not a competition dot. It's a, you know, duty defensive dot. But I'll try it out. I'll keep running it this month just to see how I like it. I might take it to the match that I'm going to later this month, or no, that'd be later in my trip, middle of the month for you. So I might take it there. Just depends on if I want to shoot it again, see how I do with it, get any better. Just like anything else, the more you use it, the better you get with it, unless you'll start noticing that wave. But oh my God, it is like, You've really got to make sure you're not staring at the dot, you're staring at the target, because that is just ugly. It's all right, it ain't bad. Not unlivable. But anyways, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.